October is shaping up to be a violent month for teens in the district. Separate shootings left at least 8 teens injured, and there is a continued focus on juvenile reform as incidents appear to be happening more often. But taking a look at some of the numbers, D.C.'s violent crime total is actually down 4% compared to this time last year. But those stats do include a staggering 164 people killed and over 3,000 total violent crimes. So let's bring in MPD Chief Robert Contee to review some of the current methods and look ahead as we get closer to the holiday. Chief, I always appreciate you joining us. Thanks for your time this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me, Steve. Good morning.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. A couple of things I do want to get your take on out of the way, and then we can talk about what's happening in the district. But a couple of specifics that really have gotten in the news lately, and one of them I can only assume will soon because the video is just starting to circulate online. I know you're aware of it, and it involves some of your officers trying to make an apprehension. The video, which we're not going to show right now, but I know you're aware, shows a potential suspect being taken down in a rough manner. I'll put it at that, causing injury. Have you seen the video, and what's your take on this?
Yeah, so I've seen the video not too long ago. I've spoken with our council member for over in that area. What we've learned is that there was a call for a shooting that occurred over at that location. After officers responded to the scene of that, there was some kind of altercation that occurred between our officers and some people who were standing in the block. At this point, our internal affairs and officials are investigating that. We're pulling obviously all the body-worn cameras. Just to have a better understanding of what actually led up to it. The video kind of starts after I think whatever the altercation was or whatever the discussion was before that. The video starts after that. So we want to really just have a whole picture before we go, any further with that, and just kind of make sure that we were following MPD policies and doing the things that we need to do to keep communities safe.
All right, but at this point, while the investigation goes under, are the officers involved? Is there a certain status for where they are right now?
No, at this point, I mean, this really just happened late last night, so we don't have enough information at this point where the status has changed for any of the members, other than, again, the matter just being under investigation.
Okay, this is 3500 block Stanton Road, southeast, and just, it's video. You might have seen it online. Wanted to get your take on it. Chief, I do appreciate that. Obviously, the other big video of the week, and I know you can't comment directly on this because it's not your investigation, is the situation that played out on a Metro bus. Metro Police is handling this. Your department is not. Completely understand that. But what it tends to lead to is yet another scenario where you have groups of youth, of juvenile who are acting badly. And I know this is something that is very important to you and your department. What can you do about it?
So we actually are working very closely with our partners over at Metro Transit. While they are the lead in the investigation, obviously those are young people. Those are young people from our city. Those are young people who attend schools here in our city. There's significant progress that's being made in that investigation, and we certainly hope to bring that matter to closure sooner rather than later. When you see incidents like this that involve young people in our community, obviously it's very disturbing. The city has dumped a ton of resources into making opportunities available for our young people so that we don't find them involved in these types of situations or these types of incidents, especially violent incidents. Everyone has a right to be safe in community, and when we identify these types of things, we really have to get to the root of why they did what they did, but more importantly, make sure that in addition to accountability, that there's also opportunity for those young people.
Sure. I'm curious as to your take on this, Chief, for a couple of reasons. We've talked to you about this in the past. We talked to your predecessors about this in the past, other members of the department, obviously, many times. Some blame a breakdown in the court system when it comes to juveniles. Some obviously say that kids who are doing bad need a second chance. I'm curious your take, though, just because you're from here and you've been with the department for so long at so many different levels. You've seen this as you've risen up through the ranks. Is the problem getting worse as far as teens acting out in a perhaps more extreme manner than in the past, or is it really a court issue? What do you find as to the root of the problem?
I think there are a couple of things here. I think one, we have some young people who really need to be held accountable. And quite frankly, I don't think that they are in some instances. I mean, we give chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. And at some point, in order to make communities safe, young people have to sit down. And when that sit down could come in many forms, but so oftentimes that could mean that they're not in communities where they are harming people. Perhaps they're in a different environment where they can receive the services that they need. But when they are doing things that impact our community, that is something that obviously concerns me. As I started talking about this at the very beginning of the year, young people are starting to show up in violent crimes more so than I have seen in the past. And when I say that, meaning in robberies and carjackings, I mean, you look at the homicides so far that we've had this year involving our young people, 13 young people over last year. I think we had 12 in total. So when they start to show up in these spaces, I have to make sure from my side of the fence that we are doing everything that we possibly can to ensure the accountability piece, but that goes for the whole system. But also I talked about the opportunity piece, and I believe that the city is making investments in the space of opportunities. We have to make sure that we're looking at this issue holistically. Not every young person does not deserve a second chance, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that those who continuously commit violent acts in community, we have to take a stronger stance in those instances.
Chief, I always appreciate your time. I appreciate your feedback. Real quick, I know we have Halloween coming up. It's always a time you want to have extra patrols on the street. Is that the case once again this year?
Yes, that is the case this year. We will have extra patrols on the street. We'll be focusing on communities all across the District of Columbia. We'll be focusing on intoxicated drivers, doing everything we can to make our community safe here in the District of Columbia.
All right, Chief, thanks so very much. Always appreciate your time. Chief Robert Contee joining us from D.C. Police. Thanks much. And
absolutely.
Stay safe out there yourself as well. It's 8:37.